Coach Foley shortly.
At practice.
Okay. All right. All right.
All right, question.
How did the Blackshirts distribution go in the process of selecting them? How was that?
Oh, it was good. I mean, it was simple. You know, Coach Rule. I mean, everybody forgets Coach Rule has earned the right and opportunity to do it that way. You know, any which way he wants. And so, went in there and we talked about it, and he said, "How does this look?" And I said, "That looks cool. Let's do it." So, quick, easy, simple.
Yeah. What about how'd you give them to the players? Practice, hanging in their lockers?
They were in their lockers. Yeah, they were in their lockers.
How did you arrive at some of the decisions? I mean, there's obviously some situations where you might have a coach start. How did you kind of decide on who would just be 11?
Yep.
Kind of your thought process and how you went about it your first time.
Yeah, it was just what we thought the 11 that we are anticipating going out there and starting. You know, didn't want to try to give out more or less. Just hey, the 11 guys we anticipate starting is hanging up in those guys' locker, and kind of go from there. Yeah.
What were some of their reactions, especially some first-time watchers?
Yeah, they were. You could tell who they were because when they came out there, they were extra smile. I don't know if it was black shirt or the single digi. You know what I mean? Because it kind of went hand in hand, but they were excited. You know, and it's cool when you ask the young men about it, the first time they ever got one, and they're able to rattle it off like that. So it means something to them, and it was exciting to watch those guys yesterday walk into the indoor and then see it on them and have a smile on their face because I know they know what it means. Yeah.
So many of the single digit guys, just how telling it is that of your group of what they've done this offseason?
Yeah, I mean that's a testament to a lot of people. You know, that's a testament to them and what they represent, and then obviously buying in and adopting what the program is about, what Coach Rule preaches daily, what Coach Campbell preaches in the weight room. You know, a lot of times you mistake the talk with the application. Coach talks about the adopting, you know, and those guys were good guys. I mean, you look at it, those were low maintenance, blue collar young men who care about this place. So it's actually a treat to see them rewarded for it. And again, there's a lot of young men who, when it was voted upon, could have gotten those jerseys. So it's fun to watch those guys, and then for those other guys who got a lot of votes as well, it's something where now, you know, they're competing to try to get it later on, or, you know, all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
With the Blackshirts too, is that sort of a week-to-week thing, or is that viewed more as a season-long?
No, that's a week-to-week deal. You know, I mean, you want to make it special. You want to keep guys competitive. You want to make sure that they understand, like, hey, this is something just like all of us, right? It's 1-0. You know, win the rep right now. Let's concentrate on the day and represent what that's supposed to represent as of right now, and then we'll move forward with it. So.
Do you anticipate keeping that at 11, or could you see a situation where somebody beyond the 11 earns it?
Right now it's 11, and then if something changes, or, you know, coach has said if there's like that other guy who's going to go in the game like that, then we'll talk about it. But right now, first time through, let's keep it at 11.
There's a lot of talk about how Minnesota doesn't know what you guys are going to do. Do you personally kind of buy that, or do you think they have a pretty good idea based on not only a coach that they hired, but facing, you know, your defense in the bowl game? I know you weren't there, but they faced the defense.
Yeah, I mean, they faced the defense. They got the film. Actually, I believe one of their secondary coaches was on staff with me for the last couple of years. So they'll have an idea. They'll have a general idea of how things work. But again, it's more so how the guys execute than the schematics of it. You know. So.
How has the execution been of what you're asking them to do? Not just the technique part, but the actual execution of the scheme.
It's been going well. I mean, the young men, they've done everything asked, and it can always be better in terms of from the coaching staff, in terms of teaching it. If there's an issue, seeing it right away, getting it changed for the game, or on my end, eliminating what causes confusion. You know, so that process is still ongoing. I mean, today we put in some new things, tweak some stuff like that, but after a certain time, it's all about eliminating problems and letting them play fast. So that's still going on.
Tony,
kind of along that, is there a point where the hay's kind of in the barn, like the night before or so, or are you thinking about stuff even the day of the game that you can tweak or whatever?
Never. Like, I mean, we got a hard cutoff of like, hey, no more. That's it. Let them go play. I mean, they've had over 6,000 reps at playing, at defending passes, defending the run game, all that kind of stuff in the calls we've been doing. So it would be crazy to put those guys in a situation where now all of a sudden you're inventing stuff the day before the game that they haven't put on the grass. You know what I mean? That's not a smart thing to do.
Not to go guy by guy at this point, but Chief Borders gets a Blackshirts. What have you seen out of him as he's developed in that jack spot?
Yeah, consistency. You know, there's a lot of guys, again, deserving of the 11, but at that time when the decision was made, it was like, okay, well, who's been the most consistent guy? And like I said, Chief has stood out with his attitude and his effort. And again, that's the cool part, is when you get to reward the effort part. You know, talent, you kind of put that to the side because all these guys are talented. But when you get to highlight the effort and things like that, the attitude, I think that's a big deal around here. So it was cool that he was able to go back and do that. And when we looked at the practices, who's playing physically the most consistent, who's running to the ball, who's all OU, all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying anybody else is, but he just had that one little thing where you could see it on film. So it was like, all right, let's roll with it.
Can you tell me if the other two linebacker spots, what's your depth situation, and how do you feel about the way that you can rotate guys? Are they interchangeable spots, or do you have, a group of players that play one side and a group of players that play the other? Coach
Dvorak has done a really good job of managing, moving guys around. You know, he's done a really good job of teaching to where some guys now, like Javen, is starting to show up and starting to make a lot of plays. You know, guys being able to play the jack, moving over Mackay, getting him reps at all three spots, showing some versatility, moving guys around in practice with all the reps we're getting. You know what I mean? So it's more so they've been intertwining all their skill sets so we can put guys at any one of the spots out there. Yeah.
Who's the guy or two out of those 11 that you feel like maybe has come the furthest from the spring in terms of that consistency that you're talking about?
Ooh, furthest? I would say, I'd probably say Blaze is up there, just because he's an OOU guy. He's a guy that you root for. He's a guy who's been here and low maintenance, does everything right, and to see him put himself in a position to work his body with Mitch and Corey with the injuries and all that kind of stuff like that, to get to this spot where he did that, I think that's a big time. Deshaun Singleton as well, he's a guy who made plays, and you're always flashing because his athleticism and his size and how rangy he is, and to see him do it consistently over and over and over again, that's really cool to see. So those two guys off the top of my head. Yeah.
How much does special teams value impact your road trip decisions on who gets to go?
Yeah, I mean, special teams, those guys, I joke around, but those guys are in defensive jerseys. On the Coach Foley, the last scrimmage we had made sure that the kicking nets were on the defensive side of the field because that's their defense. You know what I mean? So that's a huge emphasis on our side of the ball. So it's funny because Coach was talking about the last couple of spots on the trial roster and talking about the importance of who else is on those special teams, who else can run down there if you have an injury or something like that. And literally just made the decision a couple of moments ago. So it's a huge deal. Yeah.
21 for the team cycling right now, knowing the game is 3 days away. Are you guys managing anxiety, nerves, whatever else like that?
Yeah, I think they're anxious about this practice because we got some new stuff in, and we got this is the first Wednesday in season practice before the game for us, right? So seeing the mistakes from yesterday's practice, I think they're anxious about today right now, and Coach, starting at the top, Coach Rule and all the coaches being able to keep that mindset of, hey, it's win this rep right now. Let's concentrate on this moment because the game, it'll be there. We're going to get on the plane and we're going to show up and we're going to kick off at that time. But right now, the game means nothing if we don't handle today right. So.
How has your August been? Has it been like would you characterize it as a steady
he climbs or the fits and starts? What's it like? What's it been like for the defense?
I think it's been consistent. You know, I think it's been the biggest thing that I can say right with that is how we do things more so than what we're doing, and the consistent growth of dominant contact and Husker speed and making sure that part is correct. Because again, X's and O's wise, the offense always wins on the board, right? So somebody's going to have to defeat a block. Somebody's going to have to run to the ball. Somebody's going to have uncommon effort in order to make a play or save us, right? So I think that is the most important thing that you see consistently and consistently growing, not only with the black shirt guys, but guys who are on that second team, on the third team, Dwight Boodles, you know, you're seeing him show up like that. The younger guys buying in, Sua. You see a lot of the trade team guys exercising that when they go against the offense or they go against the defense, you're seeing them use those same things. So I think that's been the most important thing right there. Yeah.
What jumps out at you about Minnesota's offense?
Consistency. I mean, they know who they are, and that's how they play. You know, and I think that's a really big compliment when a team knows who they are and they know how they win. I mean, they rush for over 200 yards a game, throw for almost 200 yards a game. I mean, they play great defense. They, you know, play great special teams. They know who they are, you know, and so when you watch them, they're going to do what they do. And so that's why it makes today important. You know, the game will take care of itself, but that's what makes today important, because we get a chance one more time, you know, for the last time, physicality-wise, to prepare. Yeah.
In terms of their offense, you know, they've had plenty of turnover, and a lot of the guys that have been key contributors weren't with them last year. Are there any challenges getting ready for guys who we haven't seen them in their system, or haven't seen them, you know, in this?
I mean, the system in terms of like you know, the versatility we're showing on defense, it's gonna be the same deal. You know what I mean? I mean, they lose a couple old linemen. They still got some really good tight ends. You know, they lose a really good back, and here they go. They get a transfer and a freshman who's really dynamic. You know, the receivers coming in. I mean, so that's what football is. You know, the guys leave, and now it open up an opportunity for guys to come in and either fill the shoes or make bigger shoes, right? So they'll be ready, but again, that's what we're preparing for. We're ready to go today. Yeah.
All right,
Thank you. Appreciate you.